Welcome to another episode, and in this episode I'm going to be talking about Apple versus Epic and Microsoft. Now, things have been getting more interesting as the day goes on. Last week I talked about how Fortnite was kicked off of iOS because they tried to get around Apple's payment system. Now, Apple took it a step further beyond lawsuits and pretty much started to ban Epic development tools on iOS, which includes the Unreal Engine, which a lot of video games actually use. And again, Epic countersued, claiming that Apple is monopolizing its App Store, more specifically its payment system. Now, Epic is arguing that it's such an important ecosystem that it needs to be a level playing field for each company that wants to pretty much sell their apps on. Now, of course, Apple disagrees because charging 30% for in-game purchases and stuff like that is where they make most of their money. Now, I'm not a lawyer or anything, so pretty much that's just the ins and outs of it from what I can read. And I'm sure more intelligent people will let you know who has a stronger case and on what grounds. But what's interesting to me is that Microsoft has jumped into the fray and they are backing Epic's play on this. Now, the reason why may be obvious because Gamepass, specifically Xcloud with Gamepass, was denied on iOS. Apple says because they cannot rate the games that Gamepass offers. However, those games are already rated, so that's just a bunch of BS. Now, if the court side with Epic on this lawsuit and demand that Apple needs to open up its ecosystem and have an equal playing field when it comes to monetization and other practices, then one can assume that Apple will also have to allow Xbox Game Pass on iOS. After all, the reason why Fortnite was kicked off of iOS was because Epic went around Apple's payment system, the same thing that Game Pass does. Because all you're really doing is accessing Xcloud on your phone. You're not necessarily gonna buy Game Pass on their phone. So if the judge says that Apple must allow Epic to implement their payment system and mandate that Fortnite be reinstated, then Microsoft can argue the same for Game Pass and Xcloud. But it goes beyond that. If the judge sides with Epic on this, then we might actually see Game Pass on PlayStation and on the Switch. Because after all, what Microsoft is trying to do is access their game store, their app stores. Now, they're not necessarily trying to sell their games on the PlayStation store or on the Nintendo Switch store. They just want to be able to stream Game Pass, Xcloud, using the PlayStation and using the Switch, just like they want to do the same with iOS on iPads and Macs, the same way they do with Androids right now. See, they're not charging people on Android to use the system, especially if you already have Game Pass. They're charging for Game Pass, and that's ultimately Xbox's main goal. It's not necessarily to sell consoles. The reason why they have an Xbox is because they want people to have Game Pass. The reason why they have Game Pass on PC is because they want people to have Game Pass. They want to build that $15 a month subscription fee, just like Netflix, just like pretty much every other company right now. Disney Plus, Amazon, Costco. They want to build that database of continuous funds coming in. They don't necessarily want to waste their money on consoles. Consoles is pretty much just a gateway to get into Game Pass. Again, if the judge sides with Epic on this, it may change the way we play games, at least Xbox games and Game Pass. It's very interesting stuff. Now again, I'm not a lawyer. This may not necessarily turn out the way I'm expecting it to if they side with Epic, but it does necessarily kind of open the gate just a little so Microsoft will at least have an argument. And if they win, get it. Now, I don't know what that's going to mean for Xbox as a brand because, why buy one if you could just buy a PlayStation and have Game Pass? You have all the first party games. But if it doesn't bother Xbox, then it shouldn't bother me. Simple as that. That's going to do it for this episode. Remember, when shit hits the fan and Game Pass is accessible on any console that you own, don't walk, run.